Star Trek brings back Picard's USS Enterprise to meet Riker's Titan for the first time. Star Trek Lower Decks' finale brings together the USS Enterprise and the USS Titan on screen for the first time in a low-key but historic meeting. Star Trek Lower Decks' final season on Paramount Plus involves the USS Cerritos investigating a series of quantum fissures opening up across the galaxy. In Star Trek Lower Decks' series finale, LT, Brad Boimler, Jack Quaid, receives a message from his transporter clone, Captain William Boimler, Jack Quaid, that a devastating soliton wave is heading for Star Trek's prime universe. Although Starfleet Command would usually not assign a California-class starship to take on a mission of this magnitude, they have no other choice but to rely on the Cerritos. Starfleet informs Captain Carol Freeman, Dawn Lewis, and her crew that the USS Enterprise is on its way, but will not arrive in time. Captain Freeman and her crew rise to the occasion, working together to stop the soliton wave and save the universe. Their actions result in the creation of a stable wormhole to the multiverse, and Starbase 80 takes up residence at the wormhole's entrance. USS Enterprise and USS Titan meet for the first time on Star Trek Lower Decks in the climactic moments of Star Trek Lower Decks' finale. The USS Enterprise and the USS Titan both arrive after the Cerritos has already saved the day, but they remain at Starbase 80 to help transition the space station's new importance. With its location at the entrance to the new wormhole, Starbase 80 will become a hub for missions to various quantum realities. Captain Freeman accepts a position at the Starbase, where she and her husband, Admiral Alonzo Freeman, Phil Lamar, will supervise these missions. Both the Enterprise and the Titan can be seen docked at Starbase 80, but neither crew appears at the party on the station. Considering Captain William Riker, Jonathan Frakes, former Enterprise First Officer, is in command of the Titan, it's not hard to imagine that the Enterprise E and the Titan may have met before. Still, this is the first time the two starships have been seen together on screen, and it makes sense they would both check in at Starbase 80 after the near destruction of the universe. It's unclear whether Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, or Worf, Michael Dorn, is currently in command of the Enterprise E, but either way, it would have been fun to see a glimpse of the ship's crew. The USS Titan had previously appeared on Star Trek Lower Decks at the end of Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2. Under the command of Captain William Riker, the Titan helped the Cerritos fend off 3 Packled clump ships. Counselor Deanna Troi, Marina Sirtis, was also serving aboard the Titan alongside her husband. It would have been fun to see Riker and Troi reunite with their friends from the Enterprise, if only in a brief scene during the celebration at Starbase 80. The USS Enterprise E did not appear on Star Trek Lower Decks until the brief glimpse shown in the series finale. Despite the perfect setup for the Enterprise E crew to appear, Star Trek Lower Decks came to an end without seeing Captain Picard or Captain Worf and his crew. Even if the actors were unavailable to lend their voices to the scene, Star Trek Lower Decks could simply have shown the Enterprise E crew and the Titan crew mingling with Captain Freeman and the crew of the Anaximander. Seeing so many Star Trek legacy characters gathered together in one place would have been a treat for any Star Trek fan. Star Trek Picard Season 3 has USS Enterprise D meet USS Titan A for decades. The legacy of Star Trek has captivated audiences with its exploration of space, the human condition, and the relationships between its iconic characters. Among the most memorable captains of the franchise is Jean-Luc Picard, who helmed the USS Enterprise after the destruction of its predecessor. Fans of the Star Trek, The Next Generation era have always held a special place in their hearts for the adventures aboard the Enterprise, and now the franchise is about to deliver an epic reunion that will have Trekkies on the edge of their seats. In a historic moment, Captain Picard's USS Enterprise will meet Captain William Riker's USS Titan for the first time. A reunion of Titans, the possibility of Picard and Riker, two of the most beloved characters in Star Trek history, crossing paths again, has been the subject of speculation since the two went on separate paths following the end of Star Trek Nemesis. Picard, of course, was last seen in command of the Enterprise E, a sleeker and more powerful successor to the Enterprise D. Meanwhile, Riker took command of the USS Titan, a vessel referenced throughout Star Trek media, but rarely given the spotlight it deserved. The Titan's reputation grew largely through novels and supplemental media, establishing it as a ship with a strong presence under Riker's leadership. Now, the time has finally come for these two vessels to meet in what promises to be a historic and emotional moment. After years of commanding separate ships, Picard and Riker will be reunited, not just as friends, but as captains of their respective ships, an Enterprise and a Titan. The symbolism of two legendary captains, Picard and Riker's reunion, is more than just a fan service moment. It's a thematic echo of Star Trek's core themes: friendship, loyalty, and leadership. The history between these two characters goes beyond mere professional duty. It is about their shared experiences, the mentorship Picard offered Riker, and the mutual respect they cultivated over years of service. Throughout the next generation, Riker's arc was one of growth as a leader. His decision to stay on the Enterprise as Picard's first officer, despite numerous opportunities for his own command, signaled his deep loyalty to his captain and crew. This loyalty was reciprocated by Picard, who saw in Riker not just a trusted officer, but a man worthy of his own ship one day. The Titan represents that realization of Riker's potential, and his command symbolizes his evolution into a captain in his own right, while the Enterprise embodies the legacy of Picard's leadership. Their reunion now presents a meeting of equals, a rare moment where both men can reflect on their shared history and the paths they have taken. The ships, icons of Starfleet, while Picard and Riker's friendship is central to this encounter, the ships themselves carry significant weight. The USS Enterprise, in all its iterations, has been the most iconic ship in Star Trek's history. The Enterprise E, introduced in Star Trek: First Contact, represents the peak of Federation starship engineering, boasting advanced weaponry, sleek design, and a storied history of defending the galaxy from threats like the Borg and Romulans. On the other hand, the USS Titan, though less famous than the Enterprise, has gained a strong following due to its unique design and Riker's command. Unlike the more combat-oriented Enterprise E, the Titan is designed for deep space exploration and diplomacy, highlighting Starfleet's mission of peace and discovery. The meeting of these two ships signals not just the reunion of old friends, but the convergence of two distinct aspects of Starfleet's mission: exploration and defense. What it means for the franchise bringing back the Enterprise alongside the Titan marks a new chapter in Star Trek's legacy. With the success of Star Trek: Picard, fans have been treated to a deeper exploration of Picard's life after his time as captain of the Enterprise, but the show has also offered glimpses of Riker's life post-Nemesis. Riker's brief return to active duty in Picard's first season was met with overwhelming excitement, and his appearances in subsequent seasons further solidified his importance to the franchise's future. However, this meeting between the Enterprise E and the Titan has the potential to do more than just offer nostalgic joy. It allows for a new direction in Star Trek storytelling, one that bridges the past with the future. The interaction between Picard and Riker, now as seasoned captains, represents a passing of the torch between different generations of Star Trek. It is a reminder that while the characters we've loved for decades are still relevant, they are also preparing the universe for new heroes and new journeys. Emotional impact and fan reactions: the emotional resonance of this reunion will undoubtedly be felt deeply by fans. Seeing Picard and Riker together again, commanding their respective ships, is not just a celebration of Star Trek's rich history, it's a testament to the enduring relationships that have defined the series. Fans who grew up watching the next,